It's already that time again. It looks like we're being treated to yet another patch notes, and I think it was less than a week since the last one. There was a balance patch before the Chinese expansion came, and now this is the day Immortal Pillars is here, so you can now play the Chinese if you own the premium edition or if you've bought the DLC. And so we're going to just run through and see what some of these extra changes are, and let's have a look. I do have a few videos planned on the Chinese, so if you want to see those, they'll be here in the next few days. But Immortal Pillars DLC is now available. 12 new gods, 9 level campaign, which I'm really excited to play through, new mythical creatures, and 7 new maps with China's iconic landscapes. Age of Mythology is now on the PS5 as well, which I think is pretty crazy. I do want to actually try just playing it on a PlayStation controller. I don't have a PS5, but I use a PlayStation 4 controller for all like old retro games and stuff. So I really want to give this a go. If anyone thinks that might be a good idea for a video or not, if not, I'll obviously do it on my own. New game mode, Daily Celestial Challenge. Get ready for an exhilarating new game mode, Daily Celestial Challenge, a new twist on skirmish. Every day you'll face unique and rule-bending world twists that will test your skills and strategy. Equip powerful blessings, bonuses to gain an edge as you challenge the gods themselves. Now, I've had a brief look at this. I quickly loaded up the game, and I was really surprised by this. Had no idea that something like this was actually coming, but this was what I wanted from Arena of the Gods originally. With it just being a twist on skirmish, they can just constantly add something in new and basically queue them up every day. And yes, you will be able to challenge different opponents' rules, keep the gameplay exciting and unpredictable. So this is it. I play some games on my phone. There's one where you like do a train line, whatever, and just doing the daily challenge is always great, just because you don't know what you're going to expect, and you get put on a leaderboard, which is exactly what I want. So this is it. Strive to achieve high scores by winning quickly and efficiently. So this is it. It's all about leaderboards. I really do want to give this a go. And plus, you can replay the challenge multiple times. So if you fail on the first one, you can go again. And I really, really like that. So it looks like players who participate will be shown on the leaderboard for the current day, which reflects the player's current highest score. The leaderboards will be reset at 9 a.m. Pacific time. And the next day, you'll receive a notification showing what rank you are. Okay, this is great. I hope there's some kind of maybe if they can get some icons with it. Like if you came first, you get a special, I don't know, diamond, gold icon or something. That'd be really great. Okay, next we're moving down to the game. I believe there's just going to be a lot of fixes here. So a lot of this is just extra UI fixes and things, which we're not going to have a look at for now. Okay, so down to what we're all after really is the balance changes. Now, technologies, first of all, heroic fleet. So research time reduced from 40 to 20 seconds, reduced cost from 150 food, 150 wood, 10 favor, to 100 of each, still 10 favor. And the bonus damage versus myth units increased. So the idea of this is it's meant to counter things like the Scylla, things like the Leviathan, these really good myth units, the Kraken even, that one's an insane myth unit. And it wasn't really doing its job. So let's see what the developer note is. Myth units on the water have been dominating naval gameplay. Exactly, fast heroics and things are just really, really good. These changes should hopefully open up some more counterplay to the naval myth units and enforce the ship counter triangle further. Yeah, that's it. It was basically if you fought water hard classical, the other player could just sit back, go fast heroic, get their myth units out and win. Relics, Pandora's Box, myth unit favor getting a slight nerf. Maybe it's just they felt it was a little bit too powerful. So only 15% rather than 20%. And then Blanket of Empress Zoe, building crush armor vulnerability bonus increased from -10 to -15. So a little bit of a buff on that guy there. I really like these little tweaks to the relics. This isn't the first one that they've done. They've also done it for all the speed ones as well. So it's nice to see that they're just keeping those things in check. Greek Pantheon, Ares as always. Lure God Power cost reduced from 30 to 20 favor. The lure is rarely ever seen getting recast. This should hopefully make it more appealing to do so. So for anyone that doesn't know, lure does give you extra chickens around it. It doesn't just pull in the hunt. So even if all the hunt on the map is gone, you can reuse this and get some chickens that instantly spawn around it for some free safe food, basically. Or 20 favor safe food, I guess. Minor Gods, Athena, Restoration. Repeat cost increased from +10 to +20. I think Athena has been nerfed every single patch since the first one, which is crazy. This god this god power often scaled very well into the later stages of the game, and recast being as cheap as they were allowed for immense value. Basically, yeah, players were just using it on repeat. These changes should bring the power in line a little for later stages in the game, and make Athena not stand out as much from the other two classical options. Yeah, Athena is the best by far, which is why she's been nerfed every single time with the Minotaur's restoration multiple times. Uh, Apollo Oracle unit and building line of sight bonus increased from 4 to 5. I really like line of sight upgrades, so this is good for me when I play Apollo, so that's good. I'll play Zeus even. Egyptian Egyptian pantheon here, Osiris looking like that. Don't know what that means. Hierarcho Sphinx technology. So this is the movement speed bonus on the Sphinx reduced from 15% to 10%. So this is the second of the Sphinx upgrades. You get a Cryo Sphinx, which gives them a little bit more damage HP, and then you get the Hierarcho Sphinx, which is damage HP and speed, which is absolutely crazy. And it is when they get good. Sphinx at maximum upgrades was overperforming across the board. This change hopes to bring them in line. Yeah, that's just basic. It's the speed is the thing which is the killer for them. Yes, they get a little bit more tanky, whatever, but it is all about the speed. So I do agree with this change. I think 10% should be a little bit easier to chase them down with hearses and things like that. Sekhmet Citadel God Power cooldown increased from 30 seconds to 120 seconds. I was going to say, I assume this is a deathmatch thing rather than anything else because it costs like 100 to redo or 150. So it's not like you're going to be really getting that in the heroic age. So yeah, shouldn't affect supremacy too much. Human units. So this is Egyptians, Camel Rider, and War Elephant are getting a buff, which is pretty wild. The Egyptian roster was lacking in anti-archer potential. So giving these two units some extra damage helps against them helps Egyptians deal with ranged soldiers better, now that Chariot Archer is not as good at that role anymore. So in the previous patch, if you didn't see it, Chariot Archers got nerfed, and now they're buffing camels and elephants. I think elephants, they don't get used as much, so I really like this one. Although Camel Riders, I feel like they're really good. Maybe it's because I play Egyptian a lot, and Egyptian Mirrors is all about camels. So we will see how that goes. But I do like that they're not just relying on one unit. They've nerfed that one unit, so they're buffing other things. I think that is a great way to go. So we'll see how this does. I mean, it is a very small buff to the camel, so maybe that is absolutely fine. A war elephant's going to be very strong. Norse Pantheon. Forseti Dwarven Breastplate, Herdman and Berserk bonus reduced from -20% to -15% hack armor vulnerability. This was one I was surprised wasn't in the first patch from a week ago, so it was obviously just a little bit delayed. For anyone that doesn't know, this is an insane upgrade. 20% in the classical age. So Forseti is a classical age guy. If it was a mythic age, maybe that would be fine. But for classical age, it's just way too strong. So agree with that. And then Freya Sesarumnir, hero hit points increase from 15 to 20%. I think it's just because Freya, if you go Freya or Heimdall, you obviously don't get the Forseti extra speed on your heroes. So yeah, for Freya, they just want the heroes to be a little bit more tanky instead, as they struggle with myth units sometimes. This upgrade was seeing very little use. Hopefully, a small boost should allow it to become more useful more open for options for Freya and over Forseti. So that's what we're saying. The heroes, if you're going heroes, you're going Forseti most of the time. Tyr Fimbulwinter added a hard cap and soft cap to the number of wolves the Fimbulwinter god power can spawn. Now this is what we're after. This should address the concern that Fimbulwinter scales too effectively in team games. So this essentially, it doesn't say, but I believe this means the more people there are, it isn't just going to exponentially scale. So if you're playing a 1v1, you get X amount. If you're playing against, 6 people, you're not going to get 6 times the amount of wolves. I believe that's what it means. And I really want to see this in action because, yeah, Fimbulwinter was a pain. Myth units, Raven, Odin line of sight increase. Okay, so ravens are they don't have much line of sight. They were nerfed in the very first patch, if I remember, or maybe the second patch, because they had loads of line of sight. They were spawning all the time, whatever. I don't remember what the nerfs were, but basically they're not very good anymore. So line of sight increased, and they get line of sight per age as well. So this is something. Now on to the Atlanteans, which with Helios here. Prometheus Theft of Fire technology adjusted as follows. Cost reduced from 100 wood to 20 favor to the same but with 12 favor, and reduced the amount of time it takes to research this. That's interesting. That's interesting. These changes hope to make economic playstyles more viable for Prometheus. So, this is the tech where you get extra gather rates on your hero citizens. So, the idea is you use valor on your citizens to make them heroes. You get this tech, and I believe it's like 20% faster everything, which sounds insane, but obviously you can't get that many heroes out quickly. So, it ends up not being so strong. So I believe this is good that you get it quicker and it's a little bit cheaper. That's nice. Caraballister heroes, more hit points, less range. So I guess they're going to be nerfing that guy down here as well. Yeah. Less range and less line of sight. So they're basically just having a little bit of a shift with him. The Caraballister was in the last patch as well. Caraballister has still been performing poorly overall. These changes aim to hopefully make the unit perform better in its intended role, hard countering infantry, and less overlap for the Arcus. So this is the issue is the Caraballister is the only anti-infantry for Atlanteans, and because it wasn't so strong, it was a little bit of a struggle, especially in the classical age. You basically had to get heroic and get those Arcus out. Okay, Terma heroes here. So movement speed down from 5.6 to 5.3. I feel like these were brought down before. I believe it was down to 5.6 and down to 5.3. I will need to go back and check these other patch notes, but it feels like this happened before. So if they just gone down by zero point 0.3 again, they also get a little bit more range and their line of sight has changed. Let's see what they say. The Terma has been unintentionally effective at taking out slower infantry targets. We do see that with the kind of hit and run tactics. These changes should hopefully slow them down more so that cavalry, as well as fast counter cavalry like spearmen and whatever, should have an easier time dealing with them, but still allow them to counter archers fine. Okay, there's a really interesting change though. It's been nerfed 2 times on the bounce basically, and then 5 speed termers with more range. And the Caraballister, the same as the Hero Caraballister, and buildings. Sky Passage is adjusted. So Sky Passages now cost less wood and they have less hit points. So this was a change a few patches ago where they were 5 favor originally, then it went up to 50 wood, 8 favor. So let's see what they say. Uranus was performing worse than other Atlanteans, so a small buff to the Sky Passage should hopefully make him more viable, but also a bit more vulnerable, allowing counterplay with the less HP. I think is a good change. I think the reason he's not performing very well is because he's hard to play, and you're always gonna see that. Really, I think with someone like him, which is weird to say from original Uranus being broken in the old game. And easy to play. So the Chinese pantheon, we got Fuji here. Shenong is the only god being changed. So heal rate on the favored land reduced from 5 to 1.5 per second, but increases by 1.5 per age. So basically the same later on, or even slightly buffed later on, but a little bit less. So I mean, this will only be affecting anyone that's seen any of the pre-access stuff. Then we've got Yazi special attack damage reduced here from 50 to 40 hacks. So this is the guy that teleports, is very similar to an Anubite, and it looks like he's also being nerfed down here. I mean, it was 6 speed and had an Anubite leap, which going down to something a bit slower with an Anubite leap, I think is absolutely fine. Basically being nerfed across the board, and the Tau can now throw cavalry units with his dash. So I didn't know that that wasn't possible before. He's the guy that goes really, really slow and then just slams through everybody. So that is nice there. Random maps here. So this is all the new Immortal Pillars maps. We've got Bamboo Grove. Nice bit here with the trees on either side. So this is available for anyone that has the Immortal Pillars DLC. I imagine you can play online with it with someone that does have it though. Great Wall was really interesting. So you have a huge wall through the middle. So I don't know if anyone remembers on the old game there was food, wood, and gold, where you had a 3v3. One player got food, one got wood, one got gold, and there was a huge wall down the middle. It feels like that, but obviously just you can use it in 1v1s, 2v2s, whatever you like. It's a really interesting game because the wall is quite hard to take down. Peach Blossom Land, where you get a nice kind of water map, like a moat kind of thing. A lake that looks like it's got a plenty vault in it. I'm not sure what this means. I thought it meant plenty vault, but maybe this one isn't. Silk Road. With limited resources, players need to capture trading posts along the Silk Road, which grant resources of your choice. So I guess that's what that one is too. So it's pretty similar. I guess it's pretty similar to a. I guess it's similar to a plenty vault, maybe not as strong. The trading post will stay under your control as long as units are buildings are nearby. Yeah, so kind of like a plenty vault. Interesting. Step. The generous grassland perimeters offers ample resources, but the true power lies in controlling the central open steppe and its vital settlement. So, like wide open map in the middle, bit closed off near your bases with some back town centers. This is an interesting map. It's pretty crazy. So it's you could get a second town center pretty freely, and then the middle ones is wide open. That's kind of like a hybrid map right there. Then Yellow River. Something like the Nile, but then it has some gold in the middle, which could be interesting. And it looks like that is everything. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. I am going to have some Chinese videos coming out very soon, so stay tuned for those, and I'll see you in the next one.